Ciao Bella, welcome to Bella Uncinetto. I'm Christina, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. No matter how long you've been here, I always appreciate your time. I mentioned in a previous video that over the Labor Day weekend, there were a couple of things that I did with my daughter that I wanted to share with you all. And today, I'm going to do one of those. The first thing that we did was the Saturday of that weekend. We went on a boat tour. Now, I've kind of told you guys about these trips before. They're with MWR on base. And you sign up in advance. They have like the whole month of events scheduled out so you can, sign up and all those things. So as summer is coming to an end here in Sicily, they had every weekend for the month of September, they had a specific boat tour scheduled, and they had done it starting in the spring. They also did it a lot over the summer, but I didn't get a chance to go. So I thought, well, it's a long weekend, and this would be a good time to do it because it's a long time on a boat. And with a regular weekend, I don't want to schedule something that's going to require me to expend a lot of energy. So with that being said, I scheduled it for Labor Day weekend. So while I'm talking, of course, pictures will start to come up. But the place that we went it's called Marsa Mamie. And the only thing we did in the town, honestly, was drive through it. And then after we finished with the tour and all of that on the boat, we got back in the bus sort of thing. We stopped for ice cream or gelato, and that was the only thing we really did in the town necessarily. We drove through it. We went to the docks, got on the boat. There was a bar there, and here bars are not, I don't know if I explained this before or not, but I'll explain it again if I have, and if not, brand new information. Bars here are not what someone in the United States would consider a bar. So if someone says here, well, we went to a bar, they typically mean a coffee bar. That's standard here. So there is a bar at the dock. They also have showers and bathrooms, changing area there for the boats, people that are getting on and off the boats. And you can get a hot plate there. I didn't even get coffee or anything there. I just used the changing rooms, but other people did, which completely fine. So we got on the boat and we went out into the ocean, and they took us to this one place. Now, I don't know if it'll translate in the pictures as well as it did in person. I tried really, really hard to take pictures of it, but there was a ship many, many, many centuries ago that was hauling Greek columns. So from Greece, they were hauling these columns to somewhere, and the boat wrecked, and these columns fell off the boat, and they never picked them up. It was really, really cool to see them. You could see them through the water. The water, once the boat got there and the waves kind of settled from the boat pulling up, you could look down and see the columns. There were 4 columns, 3 smaller ones and 1 really big one. Because I had my daughter with me, and she's not a super strong swimmer. I mean, she can swim, okay, but being in a pool is different than swimming in the ocean. So I did not want to, because you had to go down if you wanted to actually like touch them or anything, and that wasn't something that she was comfortable with. Completely fine. So we stayed on the boat while some of the other people that were on the trip with us jumped off the side of the boat or took the ladder and dove down to actually see them. They had GoPros and kind of stuff like that. But that wasn't the part of the trip we were there for, my daughter and I. So we didn't do that part because it was open ocean. She wasn't comfortable with that. Had she not been with me, I definitely would have jumped off the side of the boat and swam down and touched those columns. But, you know, she wasn't going to stay. I wasn't going to leave her there by herself. So we didn't do that. No big deal. But it was really, really cool to see, even from the top of the water, right? Even from, like, I could see them just looking straight down. Don't know if that's captured so much in the pictures. But anyway, then we drove around the side of the town, and Marsamami is in southwest-ish Sicily. No, southeast Sicily. But it's like almost directly like the bottom part of the island. So we drove around and the island, and we got to where we were in the Mediterranean, and I want to say he said the Aegean, but I don't think that's what he said. But we were right there where we actually went from one ocean to another as we rounded the island. And when we got to the other side, we were at the southernmost tip of Sicily. But while we were riding along, we saw several things. One was a tuna fishery that was built when there was Arabic control of Sicily. So Sicily has been controlled by a lot of countries or cultures, right? You've had the Spanish, you've had the Arabic nations of various country denominations. You've had the Italians. There's been so many different people that have, taken control of Sicily, that there are a lot of different cultural influences. And this fishery is no longer in operation, but you can see next to some of the Italian buildings the very different structure that this fishery had. And it was built in the 1200s by the, I don't know the specific nation that had control at the time, but they built that fishery because tuna fish still is big here. It's tono, and you can get it fresh, you can get it canned, you can get it pickled, you can get whatever you want, right? It's everywhere. It's not my favorite. I don't like to eat it. I don't eat it out of a can, but it's everywhere. So then right next to that abandoned fish factory is a castle. And it is now a 4-star hotel that you can, should you have the funds and the ability to get here, stay at. And it is a very interesting contrast because it was built later, of course, but it is very interesting to see both of them next to each other. The juxtaposition is just fantastic to me. And then you can see, like, kind of just past it, you can see the top of a lighthouse. Now that lighthouse is in operation. And then as we drove around, there was another, like, it's an island. Um, Nobody really lives there that I'm aware of, but there's a Spanish building there, with a big statue. Um, and that is no longer in operation, but there was a lighthouse there as well. And as we drove around, that's actually the island that we pulled up to. Now, we did not go like dock at the island because there is no dock, but they had paddle boards and things to like hang out by the boat with. They had snorkels and things like that. Well, as I said earlier, my daughter is not a strong swimmer, like ocean swimming wise, but we did take a paddle board and I kind of used it like a kayak, and I plopped her on it. I got on it. We took some snorkel masks and our shoes, and I just paddled right over there to the island and hopped off. Of course, pulled the paddleboard up so it didn't go out to sea. And we snorkeled and we explored a little bit. We were wearing sandals and flip-flops, so there was a part that was really, really rocky near where the boat was. We didn't go over there. We went around. There was like a sandbar and beach area, sandy beach area. But the boat couldn't go through that area because there was a sandbar, so the boat would have gotten stuck. So, and it wasn't a big deal to paddle over there. It wasn't very far. The waves kind of took us right in, and to come back out, it wasn't too terrible. And they did traditional Sicilian barbecue on the boat. So when we came back, it wasn't quite ready, but we were able to eat. And this was all included, right? We didn't have to pay anything extra or anything like that. But it was a truly beautiful experience. I was glad that I was able to do it with my daughter. She snorkeled for the first time. Got to see some, the little fish under the water, and she just thought that was the best. Of course, I didn't get any photos of it because my phone and all of that was on the boat because I was jumping on a paddleboard with my kid. I didn't want to risk my entire backpack falling into the ocean. So I just took shoes, some equipment, and we paddled off, right? So, but I of course, have the memory. And I do have pictures of where we were, just not of the actual snorkeling part. But all in all, it was a beautiful experience. She fell asleep on the way back to the dock because she was exhausted, because she played in the water for several hours before we paddled back to the boat. And then once we were on the boat, she ate. There were some young adults, I would say. They were in their early 20s, and they were having a dance party. It was all clean, right? But they loved the fact that she wanted to dance with them, and they all had the best time. And I just laughed at all of them. But it was fun, and she loved it. And I was very excited, like I said, to be able to do that with her. And then when we got back, right, we changed our clothes, and then we got back on the bus, went and got some gelato, and then headed back to base, and then we came home. I would like to explore Marsa Mamie a little bit more, like on my own. And having been there, I feel like now I know a little bit more about the area, and I would feel a little bit more comfortable exploring on my own, because it would truly be a relaxation time. There's not like anything big there necessarily, so it wouldn't be like we were going to a special museum or aquarium or any of that kind of stuff. It would literally just be to go there, hang out on the beach, and relax, which would be super cool. We'll see when and if I can make that happen at some point, but I do feel like I would be able to do that now. So I hope that you have enjoyed the pictures, and if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. And I will see you again very soon right here in this shirt and during this time of day, because I'm going to record some more videos while I have a few minutes to do so. So as always, be the change you wish to see in the world, everyone. Ciao bella!